prayer for today is, Heavenly Father, let us pray for hope during this pandemic. As of last night, Geauga County has lost 129 people due to COVID-19. Pray for those who are overwhelmed by anxiety and stress, for all those who have survived, for all the first responders, for the doctors, nurses, and healthcare professionals, for a greater appreciation for love and all humanity, for calm in the midst of fear, for grace to overcome adversity, for hope in times of despair. Please strengthen us in the time of need. Inspire us hope for a brighter future. Amen.
Amen.
We'll start out with Chrissy. Go ahead.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of February 2nd, 2021.
Is there a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes. Jerry?
The next item here is a contract maintenance form. It's just to basically combine the guaranteed maximum price 1 and guaranteed maximum price 2 on the new building project, just to make it easier to track the charges.
Okay.
Motion, please.
Second. Second then?
Can I have a general motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, and then Ralph can second it.
Second,
Commissioner
yeah.
Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we did that first before the financials because we actually have the encumbrance on the financials.
Right.
So today's financials include a supplemental from the Commissioner's Office in the Capital Reserve Fund to be able to pay building inspection fees for the new county office building. Cash transfers from the general fund to 911 program and court technology for a portion of our 2021 funding. And another one to and from, actually 2 cash transfers to and from various funds for the 2021 workers' comp premium payment. This included a distribution of about $1.6 million worth of credits received from the BWC last year. Among the encumbrances are a purchase order from the Commissioners to Downey Independence LLC to increase the guaranteed maximum price Phase 1, GMP number 1 to include guaranteed maximum price Phase 2, GMP number 2, in the amount of $17,423,837. And that brings the total contract amount to the $26,303,842. Among the vouchers are $26,639.24 from the Commissioner's Office to Trumbull County for our share of the 2020 Court of Appeals expenses, $825,710.57 from the Commissioner's Office, the Donnelly's Independence Incorporated for pay request number 3 on the new county office building project GMP phase number 1, and finally $98,559.73 from Common Pleas Court Technology to cable communications for IP cameras and installation in the county courthouse.
So, second.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
So, so the contract, as it goes into 2022, that $26 million number, will that need to be recertified if we go into, because as one contract bleeds into the next year, will we have to do that again?
They go back through and certify what they haven't certified the other.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Whatever change order, we'll carry over both contracts into the next year.
Okay.
And we wouldn't need to, the only thing we would need to
The remaining?
recertify would be any change orders.
Oh, change order,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
Like we are gonna have another change order come
Okay.
here, so.
okay, very good.
You are done.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The next item deals with the new building also. This is the contract with Windstream to bring the services to the building and provide services going forward.
Oh, good. Make that motion. Second?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes. Now, number 5, the engineer's office. Morning, Shane.
Good morning. So we're finally to the day where we're gonna do the improvements on Washington Street, County Highway 606. Been a labor of love or something. So this is a large-scale project for our office to rehabilitate the storm sewer system that runs along the south side. It's over 100 years old. It's not functioning at its original capacity, and it's below what it needs to be. So the The plans include removal of the curb on the south side of the road for about 95% of it, replacement of the storm sewer with either open or enclosed ditches, and paving the north side shoulder to put the road more on its true survey center line. Right now it's about 5 feet off center line, favoring the south side. So it'll be centered, it'll be 26 feet wide, which is our preferred width for a county highway, 2 11-foot lanes, 2-foot paved shoulders on each side. And then the very eastern end at 44, about 500 feet of it will have curbs on both sides. So it'll feel a little bit more like a commercial center, which all those businesses are operating under that format anyway. These improvements will correct some of the deficiencies, put it on center, and give us a long, useful life for that from Bainbridge Road all the way to 44, 3.2 miles.
So Shane, so just the history of that highway, that at one time was federal.
Yeah, that was US 422.
422, and then the history of it was, when was it changed over to a county?
I'm not sure of the timing of that. Something tells me like in the 60s or 70s when
Okay.
they built the interstate. The original road was 18 feet wide. It has a concrete base with an asphalt over top of it. And sometime, I want to say in the 40s, they added about 10 feet to the south side to widen it. And it was part of the federal highway system, so it was part of the
Meeting their standards.
yeah, the evacuation routes and the National Guard, routes to the big city.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, some of those improvements didn't hold up over the test of time.
Mhm.
So we're now
We have the drainage issues on the south
drainage
side.
issues, the pavement slope, it's
Mhm.
very flat in areas,
Mhm.
so water ponds in the road and is a freeze risk and or a hydroplaning risk. So
Mhm.
we've been maintaining it, we've been trying to kind of keep it glued together, but it's time to
Right.
do the big push and get it right.
So Joe and yourself and I, we've been trying to source some funding for, the last 3-4 years, trying to figure that out. And I know we were able to, maybe get some safety dollars for the Dinger's corner, the triangle part
Yep,
there, the
yep.
corner. But were we able to get on NOACA's schedule for any of that?
Not for
funding?
this project.
No.
So in the next 5-year tip,
Mhm.
the remainder of Bainbridge, the remainder of Washington Street will be federally funded.
Okay.
So from Chagrin Falls or South Russell Village line to 306 will be in 2022.
Okay, so that's completely separate.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there'll be 3 projects. This is the first project. This is all local funding. And then the Russell to 306 is a federally funded project in
Mhm.
2022. And then from 306 to Bainbridge Road in 23.
So I know Joe had talked about going at this a few different ways, and our initial estimate of what this project was gonna cost, and then I know you guys have kind of whittled this down to more bare bones to fit in your budget. Are we doing this in phases, or are we gonna try and do this all at once?
All at once.
All at once,
Yep.
okay, yeah, okay. Okay, and in the estimate, you believe is gonna be roughly what, or you don't?
2.9.
2.9, okay, so about $1 million less than what we originally
Yeah.
thought.
We had estimated with the federal requirements, we had added additional measures and costs associated with managing
Mhm.
a federally funded project
Mhm.
of this nature. And since we are doing this locally, many of those cost inflators are not going to be there.
Okay, and we're gonna narrow this road down, so it's not so much to maintain
Yep.
and cumbersome.
Yep.
But just to be clear, NOACA provided no funding to this project.
That's correct.
Yeah, yeah,
This is a 100% locally funded project.
no.
And is the cost gonna include the refiguration of where Bainbridge Road comes to East
No.
Washington?
That is a separate project. We are pursuing a yet-to-be approved federal grant for safety of that intersection. And with the intent that that would be a 2022 or 23 replacement.
Okay.
So Washington Street's gonna see a lot of activity over the next few years, and then those folks probably won't see us for quite a long time.
Right.
Other
Mhm.
than normal routine maintenance.
Mhm. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Is there a motion on 5?
Second?
Mr. Spitaleri?
Aye.
Mr. Lundey?
Yes.
Mr. Dvorak?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great day.
If Tim and Ralph sign it, you will take the big cover sheet.
That'd be
if you
great.
want.
Save me a little stress today.
Yeah.
Trying to get this thing out
Yes.
on the street on Thursday.
What's the bid date? Wednesday, the 24th.
Yep. It'll be on the street on Thursday.
Thursday.
And then we gave them an extra week this time to March 24th.
I mean, I was just saying, Joe, and I know talking to you, since it was a federal road at one time, I was really hopeful that NUACA would be able to provide us some assistance in this project, but it looks like
Their timing and their methodology made this not a good fit.
Mhm.
And we had already kind of delayed once for hope for funding.
Mhm.
And then a second time last year because of COVID. It looked like it was gonna be a struggle to properly finance it. And that didn't exactly prove to be true. We came out a little better than we expected, but that money carried forward to this year.
So roughly your budget for, projects like this on a yearly basis, where are you about? This is gonna take up a little, maybe close to half your budget for the year, right? Yeah, yeah.
And it's more than half, but
Mhm.
we had, I think, just over $1 million that was carried forward to this year.
Mhm.
More directly related to not performing this last year. That
Mhm.
money was carried forward, so.
Mhm. And just for the record, what have we received from NOAC over the last 4 years or so since I've been here?
I don't want to be misquoted. It's less than the previous
Yeah.
years, but we've been getting crumbs and bits and
Mhm.
pieces, and
Mhm.
we have 2 NOACA projects, one in '22 and one in '23.
On the books?
On the
coming up.
books.
Okay.
We have managed to get some CEAO money through the
Mhm.
County Engineers Association, and we have an approved federal grant for a signal at Washington and Haskins,
Mhm.
and we're pursuing one for Washington and Bainbridge. So NOACA hasn't been as useful or beneficial in the last few years.
Mhm.
Other federal programs have yielded some money, as well as the NOACA did help us get the hydrant grant or the build grant for the Amish safety improvements that will be starting this year
Yeah.
and wrapping up at the end of next year. That was $11 million.
Mhm.
And a lot of it's state route stuff, but we had a county and a township road that was
Yeah,
benefactor of that as well.
good.
So
Okay.
it comes in bits and pieces, and we keep knocking on doors until somebody says, come in, and
Mhm.
we're happy to get what we can get. It was a little different before. It's a new environment, and we're
Mhm.
trying to adapt to what's available to us.
Okay.
With curiosity, with like the townships and or the villages, have they slowed down with paving, or they, with their levies and everything else?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, last year was odd because of COVID and how people were unsure how it was going to affect their revenue and budgets. We had a pretty solid year last year, just a little light.
Mhm.
This year looks like it's on par or maybe a touch heavy. So I think for the most part, most of the townships are acting the way they have in the past to pursue the same quantity and cost for their roadway systems.
Is Station Street gonna be done this year?
It is.
And portion of it, like a third of the job's gonna be from OPWC?
Yeah, about a third. Yeah.
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 Good.
Good to go.
All right, thanks for coming
Thank
in.
you.
Ma'am?
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jerry, you wanna take 6, or?
Yeah, this is from the probate and juvenile court. They're requesting the president of the board to be authorized to execute an amendment to their Department of Youth Services grant for 2021 to show the adjusted salaries based off of their recent increases.
Motion, please?
I'm not really sure exactly what this means.
This is a grant that they applied for and got last year. They just have to, because when you fill out the grant, you have to put in what your salaries of people who are gonna be benefited from the grant. When they change those salaries, you gotta provide to the state that amendment showing the new salaries.
Okay.
Okay, so move.
Second?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Commissioner DeWark.
Yes.
Okay. Good to go.
Department of Water Resources.
Morning.
Good morning, Steve.
I wasn't quite sure how that one was.
We only have one item today, and we're requesting the board to approve a merit increase for Dave Osborne, Operations Manager for grade 12, step 2 at $36.59 an hour, to grade 12, step 3 at $37.80 per hour, to be effective with payroll number 5.
So move.
What's this for? Just merit increase?
It's a pay raise for his
Mhm.
outstanding stellar
Okay.
service.
Okay. Do we bring these usually, don't we usually bring these towards the end of the year? How did,
Most of the time, it happens when around the time that any pay raise occurs.
okay.
But this was what was discussed in the executive session a
Okay,
few weeks
okay,
ago.
I'm sorry.
This is that.
Yep. Kind of blanked out there. Very good. Second?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Lennon.
Yes.
Commissioner DeWark.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jerry, wanna take
Okay,
the?
and then the final one is the request from Rotzel and Andrus for the increase in their allowable for the coverage of Judge Grindell in his case against the auditor. It's currently at the Supreme Court, and the mediation did not resolve the issue, so it's actually going to before the full board, the full Supreme Court.
Okay. 10,000.
We started with
Based on-
10,000, we increased it another 10 to 20, and this is an additional increase of 10,000 to not exceed 30,000.
Mhm.
Based on his letter from December, he had used at that point, I don't know whether it's changed, it's probably changed a little bit, but he was just under 14,000 at that point.
Mhm. And they haven't gone to court yet or anything like that?
They've done mediation, but they've not gone with the mediator. To my understanding, the mediator even said that it was probably a decision that the Supreme Court should make.
Mhm. And, where's the auditors?
The auditor is being covered by the Corsa Insurance right now.
Mhm.
At this point, they are at around 22,000 that they have expended.
Okay. And so,
And our
just to be
coverage
clear,
on-
the court was not covered by the insurance because of why? Because they brought the case
Because
on?
they brought the case.
Okay.
The auditor is being covered because he's the insurance covers defense.
Okay. Okay.
And that coverage is, the Corsa coverage on that is $27,500, which includes a $2,500 deductible.
Mhm.
So
So they're almost up.
they're getting close to the point where it's gonna start, any further action by the attorney is gonna start being billed directly.
Mhm. So we're looking, close to about $60,000 right now.
Yes.
And nothing's really happened.
Nothing's happened at this point.
Yeah.
Well, what basically happened is they found out that they need to go before the Supreme Court.
Mhm.
And as soon as they go to the Supreme Court, it'll be over. they'll make a decision.
Once they get through hearings and briefs and everything else, so that's why they're asking for the increase, and why we're gonna probably see many requests from the auditors, the Corsa attorney. If that price is gonna go up, because they'll have briefings they'll have to do before the Supreme Court, and then they'll have oral arguments.
Mhm. And, can anyone explain what their case is about in a sentence?
In a sentence, it's really, there's some, to my understanding, there is some rules that cover, there's rules in the Ohio Revised Code that cover the judge, there's rules in the Ohio Revised Code that cover the auditors.
Mhm.
And from what I understand from in discussions that the mediator of the Supreme Court said, there is some conflict between the two of them. That's why he kind of said, this is probably something that the Supreme Court should actually make the decision on,
Mm.
because it's a conflict in the law.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the original, I think the original case that this was over was only about 20,000.
Yeah. I mean, I bet you if this was coming out of your back pocket, you would have dropped this thing like a hot potato and figured out a way to get it done, right?
I can't disagree with
Yeah.
that.
I mean, this is like,
23.
yeah.
I guess the only hope to look at it is maybe, when you do get a final decision from the Supreme Court, then all this arguing back and forth between the auditor and the probate and juvenile court will end and we can move forward, but I can't
Hope so.
guarantee that that'll happen either.
Right. I hope so. Okay.
Is there a motion on the floor?
I don't know, there's no motion.
Well, I'll make the motion, and
Is there
It
a
just-
second at all?
I'll second it.
Mr. Spillier?
nope.
Mr. Levin?
Yes.
Mr. Dvorak?
Yes. Okay. Anything else, Jerry?
That's it. Oh, I didn't have anything else.
Later on today at 1 o'clock, we're gonna view the mock-ups and have a site tour of the new county office buildings. And then board of revisions on the March 1st, regular meeting on the 2nd.
Good. What, the mock-up, where's that?
At
Here?
the engineer's office.
Oh, okay. Oh, good,
It's in the
okay.
engineer's garage, so it's,
Inside,
Good.
we were able to work out with the engineer for them to do it so they could have a
Nice.
environmentally controlled location to do it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Very good. Okay.
motion to adjourn?
Second that.
Okay.
Oh, the Special Planning Commission, what's that? Oh, you know what, before we, that's
You
what,
already adjourned.
yeah. I was gonna say, the planning, I was talking to Jerry, and we have, 4, people that have thrown their name in the hat for Planning Commission. Right?
What do you want to do next week?
We should probably pick somebody, right?
Yep.
I saw, we have a lot of good candidates
We
filed,
have
you know.
4 that we
Four.
received, yes.
Yeah, really, they're pretty, some good choices there.
Yeah.
So we should probably get
Maybe
that
have
filled.
each of you individually let myself or Christie know who your top pick is. If it happens to be all 3, we'll put it on the agenda for that one. If not, you can have a discussion during the session next Tuesday.
Okay. A couple of them I don't know personally, I think, but, I tried to reach out to one, just to talk on the phone. I haven't heard back yet. But, yeah, they look like some pretty experienced, got some backgrounds, that's for sure, all of them. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And then also, I think there's a NOACA board seat we gotta fill too. I'm trying to get some people to put their, see if they'd be willing to do it.
That up-and-coming leader in the
Something.
county.
Yeah.
They had a
We get one
merging
person.
thing you guys keep talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's never sent me any information.
Oh, they haven't? Okay, okay.
The only thing that she sent me was that form that they wanted you guys to fill out with your recommendations.
Okay.
That was it.
I don't really have any names to put on that yet, but, okay.
Is that the rural advisement?
It's, no, it's a new one. It's called,
Oh.
what is it called?
That emerging,
Emerging Leaders or something, or,
Oh,
Yeah.
joy.
it's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be
I still think you do have some vacancies on the rural advisory.
some other
too.
ones too, yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to get people to, you know, I had,
I'll email.
I got a couple put on last year and then they never showed to the meetings, well, because of this COVID thing and,
Send me some information on what it is that you guys
There's
are.
some
So this
too
is
that don't
sort
feel
of
like they're gonna be listened to
a-
anyway.
yeah,
so-
yeah,
Okay.
it's
I'm
hard,
not gonna spend my time driving all the way down to Cleveland if
Right.
nobody's gonna listen to what I'm saying.
right, yeah. I mean, a lot of it's just kind of going through the motions, you know, it's just,
Totally.
and I, you know, I hate to waste people's time too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah. Okay.
How are you?
Just saw Dr. Kellis is